The suspect is someone who is suspicious. And to me, I'll be very upfront about that. It's someone who looks foreign or who talks with an accent, who has dark brown skin, or looks in some way Latino. If that person cannot provide an accepted form of identification, if they're stopped like at one of these traffic checks, immediately they are taken to jail and they are fingerprinted. And their fingerprints are checked with a national database. If it comes up that they are undocumented, they're not citizens, they can be detained, where they will receive no legal representation, where it has been documented that people that have been detained have been sexually and physically abused. They've been threatened by the people that are in care of them, and they are told, you know, you do what I want you to do, otherwise I'll make sure you get deported, and many get deported anyway, regardless. These are also people that are separated, adults that are mothers and fathers that are being pulled away from their children, who don't know where they are or cannot contact them. So this is serious stuff. The police are allowed to verify the immigration status of the people suspected of certain crimes and arrest those that are in the country illegally. The law also penalizes people who, during the commission of another crime, knowingly transport or harbor so-called illegal or undocumented immigrants. That makes it a felony with stiff penalties to present false documents or information when applying for a job. Now, beginning January 1st, 2012, that's just a couple months away now, businesses will be required to check the immigration status of all new hires using a federal database. So effectively what has happened is Georgia has established a show me your papers police state that encourages racial profiling and betrays American values. Communities are actually less safe as Latinos have grown very wary of police and are less likely to contact them when they see crimes or if someone breaks into their house, making communities less safe. Georgians and visitors to Georgia, such as everybody in this room who's not from the state of Georgia, may be stripped of their constitutional rights simply because of the way they look or the way they sound. Further, HB 87, it's unconstitutional because it unlawfully interferes with federal authority over immigration matters. HB 87 criminalizes everyday folks who have had daily interactions with undocumented individuals. And one of the ways this plays out is they are really, in Dalton, they're really looking for people that are driving without a license. Okay, so because of that, there's a taxi business that has mushroomed. Well, not only can the taxi be stopped and the person be arrested without documents, if that person doesn't have identification, but the taxi driver can be arrested for harboring an undocumented citizen. And as I said a little earlier, although it has been denied by Dalton's mayor and the chief of police, because they say they're preventing accidents and making the neighborhoods safer is their goal, many believe that Latinos are being targeted at these checkpoints. But as I said before, the checkpoints, for some strange reason, are predominantly in Latino neighborhoods or entrances to the city's carpet factories where many Latinos are employed. Okay, just a couple more things. One thing that I did, there is, Dalton has a newspaper entitled The Daily Citizen, and it publishes comments from anonymous readers. I conducted a content analysis of 226 entries related to HB 87 from about mid-May to mid-September. Some folks would have us believe that migration to the United States has brought us criminals, drug smugglers, terrorists, and those bent on mooching off society. Others see immigrants as enriching our culture. In the end of my analysis, I found that greater than 85% of their comments to be not just negative, but downright hateful and racist. And The positives were less than 15%. And I want to read you, I'm not going to read all of these for time's sake, but I want to read you a few of the comments. And this is what I meant in my description earlier about this has given rise, emboldened people to express their hatred because it is anonymous. People can just write in anything they want without any consequences. So I'll start with a positive. I'm an immigrant who works hard, learns fast, and always gives my best, just like most immigrants. It doesn't matter how fast, hard, high, heavy, hot, difficult, or even dangerous the job is. I'm willing to give it a try. I am a retired military, and my Hispanic neighbors are the best I've ever had, and I've lived all over the world. Unless you are an American Indian, it is likely your ancestors were immigrants. It's also likely they came here for a better life and opportunities for their family. I wonder what your immigrant ancestors would have to say about all the people and these hateful remarks. Keep in mind these people are human beings just like you and me. And one more, and this is the last positive one, unfortunately. My neighbor up the street just went to Atlanta to become a U.S. citizen. Welcome to your new home. I'm glad you are my neighbor. Okay. And I'll just read you a few of the negative ones because, quite frankly, I get very upset, and I don't want to read any more. One thing I just want to throw in here is a fact. And this actually came up in the Daily Citizen, too. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the 14th Amendment and what it says in regard to citizenship, but I want to read it out loud because it's very important. And at this point, it is the law, but I'm very concerned about this. Section 1, the 14th Amendment, says that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, and property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the law. In other words, if you are born in the United States, regardless of your circumstances, regardless of how you got here, regardless of who your relatives are, your mother or father, or your parents, your guardian, you are a U.S. citizen, no exceptions. I'm very, very, very fearful. There are people that have been writing in saying we need to repeal the 14th Amendment. These people need to go back where they came from, even if where they came from was here or is here all their life. Okay. All right, so here's just a few of these negative ones. Today's immigrants are killing this country and taking jobs away from legal Americans. There's a baseball player. This was back in June for the Atlanta Braves. And it says, do you know why he's hitting only 175 now? Illegal immigrants, that's why. And he's serious. I mean, it's funny, but it's really sad. We should not give these illegal immigrants anything. They have sucked us dry, and it's time for them to go back where they came from. If illegal immigrants are allowed to enter this country, then I should be allowed to rob a bank. Okay. Dalton may have been a one-horse hick town before immigration brought so many people here, but at least it was a clean one. The three biggest threats to this country are Islamist terrorists, illegal immigrants, and labor unions. And lately we've been talking about getting a public transportation system in the city of Dalton, which is sorely needed. But some people see that as just a benefit for Latinos. Some illegal immigrants want us to pay for buses, drivers, fuel, and all associated costs with a bus service so they won't get caught driving without a driver's license and be deported.